Hello, everybody. Welcome to my life. Thank you for joining me. Um, okay. How are you guys doing tonight? And please type in the chat box like why you are up. Well, maybe you could tell me like what time it is where you guys are. It's pretty late here, but so I also have another question for you guys to type in the chat box. What do you think is the worst piece of dating advice like people out there say, and what do you think is the best? You could do one or the other. Oh, nice. And here's another thing. If anybody knows how to um, get people on video chat, so I could like video chat with some of you guys on a live, could you either let me know or send me an email about that? My nonleatherlife@gmail.com. Because I think that'd be pretty awesome if I could like actually chat with you face to face, so to speak. All right, so let me like read some of your answers here. So best advice from Crucial, probably this was best, be yourself, or was it the worst? Then Guillaume Paquet says the worst is to generalize men and women. Uh-oh, because that's basically all I do on my channel. So yeah, about that. Adam Jungerheld says the worst advice is be yourself. Okay, yeah, I kind of agree. It's pretty much like the most empty advice in the world. Daniel Trottier says, read 3% Man 10 to 15 times. You're not going to believe this, Daniel. Look what I have right here. I am reading it. Problem is, I am not liking it. I'm kind of like hate reading it at this point. I think it's gonna inspire me to make a lot of videos because, like, today I just wrote down this, like, hate-filled list of, like, tough love advice after reading this book. Well, I'm not done yet, so I'm gonna keep going. But, what do you like about it? So, Sam L. Williams, hello, Sam L. Williams says, worse, don't try to force it. Let it happen naturally. Okay, yeah, I could see why that would be really bad advice. Yeah, just if it's meant to be, it will happen kind of thing. Yeah. I never like that kind of advice either. So Amit Roy says, worst, be nice to her, please her. Okay. Best, be straightforward with polite strength. Okay, yeah, I like that. So Alex Jun, how do you pronounce your last name, Alex? Just let me know if you could like spell it out. I don't know, or just don't. Be yourself has to be the worst advice out there. Okay, yes. I I like how you guys are all unanimous, well, on that point. Uh-oh. Let's see. Okay. So crucial XTM, yeah, I meant worst about be yourself. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Hello, Wizard of Ounce. Frank Mazzy, learn to be in a relationship with yourself, and if you decide to get into one, know what your wants and needs are. So I'm guessing that's the best, or is it the worst? What do you think? Um, so Curious Gen 54 says, could you give us your email again? Okay, yeah, it's my non-leather life, same as my channel, at gmail.com. So Alex says, really curious about why you hate the 3% man. I personally have been through it about 7 times so far. Wow. Well, the reason I'm kind of hating it is because he has this very, in my opinion, flimsy conception of how women think and operate. Like, I'm not saying his advice is bad, but like a lot of these male authors I'm noticing, when they try to give you a picture of like the inner workings of the female mind and actually tell you why women are behaving the way they're behaving, it's just like insulting as fuck because it's so off and it's so wrong and it's kind of like the blind leading the blind and I just really couldn't like agree less. So, yeah, but I'm not saying all the advice is bad, okay? Because I was feeling like, yeah, okay, some of this advice is good. I don't like some of the stuff he's saying, but I'm gonna read it through, then give my final verdict. Um, and if you've read it 7 times before, I can imagine there's a lot of truth in it. So N8 says women always say they can feel a man's vibe even when the man is out of eyesight. So like they can't even see him, but they can just feel him. Like I could kind of see that happening. Like let's say a guy is like behind you and you're not looking at him, you can kind of feel like the hulking presence or something. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like what do they mean? Like is he in a different state or what situation is this? So then Octave Akewu says, should I keep talking to my crush if she takes way too long to reply? In my opinion, yes, you definitely should. The worst mistake is to lash out and just be like, well, I can see you are clearly not interested, so good day, ma'am, or whatever. Like, it's just a very, very like beta move. So you just want to be patient. You want to show that you have options. You're not bothered if she's taking too long to reply because for all she knows, you could be talking to lots of other girls, have a very busy life, be flirting with girls on the street. So you don't want to like act all demanding and anxious and aggro, basically, if somebody takes long to reply. Just as I would say, play the long game, be patient and calm, non reactive, and in the meantime, do date other girls and have other crushes as well. So you do not put all your options in one basket because that creates insane desperation, as hopefully we all know by now. So, yeah. So, Daniel says, got my ex back and started my own electrical company. Oh, wow, Daniel, that's incredible. And then Dick Radio, who I think you were, was that the guy? Okay, was that you? Okay, telepathic. All right. So Lewis Hall says, do you plan on making physical videos demonstrating Dom sub situations? Okay, I'll be honest with you, Lewis. I think I should because as we all know, we're just talking about something in the abstract. Like, how useful is that really? Do you know what I mean? You could take it out of context. It could not apply to the situation. But when you see like a live demo, you get a lot from that. Only problem is my boyfriend, who I would want to demonstrate with me, does not want to do it because he does not want to be like a weirdo on the internet like myself. So, yeah, that's kind of the problem. So, yeah, but like, give me an example. What situation would you want to like, see demonstrated. Alrighty. So then Adam Junger also. Oh, okay, let me just finish my sentence here. But most of these books are written by men who don't know anything about women. Adam Junger held. Blind leading the blind, very true. Well, Corey Wayne, he's very like open about the fact that he was a very beta guy. At least he started off that way, who did not know anything about women. So yeah, he didn't know anything about women. Hopefully he's gonna get to the part where he learns a lot about women, so we'll see. So Julius Caesar, thank you so much for the tip. I really appreciate it. So, what are your thoughts on the book The Game by Neil Strauss? I know it's an early 2000s book, but I feel it's a fundamental, still holds up to this day. Well, you know what? I really need to read that because when that came out, I was very interested in that book. And I bought the book and I read some parts from the book, including one very like hot scene from that book, which I used to kind of fantasize about. And no, I will not go into it right now, but I need to read that book cover to cover because what I'm trying to do now is I want to like kind of just get a better sense of like the main books people are reading in this kind of genre. So that's one I'm like very uneducated probably and like uninformed unless I read. So yeah, what do you think about it, Julius Caesar? Do you like it? Is it kind of similar to what people are saying on like these YouTube dating channels today? Um, Let me know because I'd be curious. Like, is it considered like red pill? Is it like one of the early, you know, foundation texts of like red pill, or was it different? Or tell me your thoughts. And thank you so much for the tip. I really, really appreciate that. So, all right. So, so Laptop Doc says, can you do more interviews with regular experienced men similar to Sterling Cooper, but who are fine with opening up more about their experiences in the bedroom than giving a generalized idea? Hmm. Okay, the only reason I don't want to do that is because I am not a good interviewer. Like, it was very, 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 very painful for me to edit that interview because I was just like cringing so hard at myself. So I have been hesitant to do other interviews since. Um, Also, it was a little bit hard sometimes because I kind of felt like I betrayed myself a little because like I was trying to be like a nice interviewer, like nice and polite, but at the same time there were some things I'm kind of like, why did I just let that go, you know? But I feel like as an interviewer, your role is to just kind of like get them to talk and not like assert yourself. I don't know. But I was kind of like, am I just putting like a rubber stamp on everything he says? I guess not. But anyway, like, it's a really good idea. Like, I wonder what kinda guys I could get on. Like, there was this one guy I really wanted to interview, and I just never followed through with it, but he was a male stripper, and he wrote this really, really good book about his kinda, like, adventures in male stripping, and he just seemed to really understand women so well after, being a male stripper because, like, it's all about kind of, like, warming up these women who are just very, like, cold and standoffish at first, and then you have to, like, get them entertained and laughing, and supposedly with male stripping, there's a lot of hooking up that goes on, um, after the show. So this guy was, like, an ace with women, so I really wanted to interview him for something like that, um, but then I'm just, like, crisis of confidence, I guess. But, is there anyone you would want to see interviewed? 'Cause yeah, because I feel like well, Okay, I guess that's all I'll say about that. Oh, wow, I got another tip. Charles Levin. Oh, wow, your streams are awesome. Please keep doing them. Subscribe for life. Love from South Africa. Thank you so much, Charles. Oh my gosh. Um, I don't know if this was you who was on the live like yesterday, and then I'm like, oh, South Africa is my favorite place I've ever been to. But I really want to go back. It was absolutely incredible. Um, so like what part of South Africa do you live in? And also, if this isn't fishing for compliments, what do you like about the lives? Because then I can kind of like do more of that. Because I don't really know what I'm doing here with the lives. So thanks again, Charles. Really appreciate it. So, okay. So Guillaume says, you probably got that question asked, but what's your opinion on Andrew Tate? I feel like he's a joke. Yeah, like he just seems to be like the most popular man on the internet right now, doesn't he? Like I have gotten asked that, and I in basically every single live. Yeah, I feel like he's a joke as well. He is entertaining and he gets people talking. I'll give him that. But yeah, um, I haven't like does he have a TikTok or something? Because I've only seen this Fresh and Fit podcast episode where he was on it, and I watched like 15 minutes before I'm like, I can't take this anymore. God, like, oh my God. And then I watched this YouTube interview where he's like, not interview, like he's going on a date with this woman, and it's like over an hour. And I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched maybe like 30 minutes or something. So if there's any other vids of Andrew Tate, oh yeah, and then I told you guys my brother sent me this like BDSM like sex tape of sorts of like Andrew Tate. So yeah, if there's any other like Andrew Tate vids that you think I should watch, let me know. Cause yeah, he is somebody you just love to hate. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of fun to hate watch him. Oh, Julius Caesar. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much again. So, to answer your question, I feel that every man would benefit from the book The Game 100%. Why? Because Neil was talking about self improvement before these dating coaches even started mentioning it. Oh, wow. Well, that's cool. So, it's like not just a book about like sex, but also kind of like self improvement. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to read that one as well. I'm going to add that to my list. And, what kinda, like, self-improvement does he recommend? And thank you so much again, Julius Caesar. Or sorry. Oh, no. Julius Caesar? Or okay. So, Chris Puckett says, "Keep posting, you have big potential." Fire emoji. Thank you so much, Chris Puckett. I really appreciate it. Like, I feel that I might, just might be getting on a roll because I've kinda, like, given up basically how do I put this? Like, given up, standards, which never were very high in the first place. Because you know how I am, like, I never edit, I don't have good sound quality, I don't have a good background, but now I've kinda set the bar even lower, I feel like with this last video, with just, like, showing you guys on my broken phone, so I'm like, "That I can do, that I can do," and, yeah. So I think this might help me like just post more videos. Not trying to be perfect, not trying to have like this awesome concept for you guys that will just really like help. Just sharing my thoughts on like little stuff. Like when I was watching F Boy Island, I'm like, now that's a good example. So thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate your support and encouragement. So, okay. So then Samson Ben says, what does a girl want to hear when she asks a guy, what are you looking for from dating? Let's say I met a girl and she asked me this, what is the best response? That's a great question, Samson Ben, because I used to ask that question all the time in dating, and let me tell you, if a guy gave me a wrong answer, I just left, basically. Like, one time I asked a guy what he was looking for from dating, and he basically said he wanted, like, a open like, he wanted to explore polyamory, was interested in polyamory, and I literally walked out. So, yeah, you don't wanna give the wrong answer to that question. So you could say something like, "I'm looking for a spark, I'm looking for a connection, I'm looking to just meet people and see where things go. Um, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for." I mean, I kinda hate because I feel like it's a bit deceptive, like, if you do know you're just looking for a hookup, like, how ambiguous do you really wanna, like, push it before you're lying? But I would say something like that, like, um I'm not really sure exactly what I'm looking for yet. I just like to kinda, like, meet people, get to know them, and connect. Something kinda like that, where it's not saying, "I'm looking to bang, and that's it." And it's not saying, "I'm looking for a relationship." It's something like, "I'm open. I'm gonna take it, like, person by person." And, like, isn't that true? I don't know. I think it should apply to most people, so that's something, like, I would've liked to hear. I would've been totally fine with an answer like that, like, "Okay." Um, but yeah, like, a lot of guys, like I've said in some of my videos, just go to the extreme where they're just like, you know, "I am not looking for anything serious. Like, come over to my place on my dirty couch and get the hell out." Like, it's just not appealing. It's not really, like, polite. Not just, like, basic courtesy, in my opinion. Okay, you guys can tell me if you disagree. Is that too dishonest or not? What do you think? I'm not sure, but that's definitely what I would want to hear. Um, okay. So Emmanuel says the thing is you don't ask a fish how it feels when it gets captured. You just do what must be done because you know that it works. Oh god, this is like literally my least favorite saying and comment that I get. I'm like, don't ask the fish how to fish or whatever. Like, you cannot imagine how many times people have said this to me. Okay, so I'll just move on from that one. All right, so okay, I lost my place. Sorry, guys. Um, okay. So Johanna Cornell says the best response is the reasons why you are dating. Okay. Was that in response to like what you should say if a girl asked you? And Johanna, I'm interested in your opinion. Like, what would you want to hear? Because if I'm not mistaken, you're a girl, so I'd be interested to know your opinion. So, Sam L. Williams says, after a girl friend zoned me, she told me she wouldn't do FWB. I told her if she changes her mind, I won't slut shame her for it. Was I being alpha or beta by doing that? She watched my stories after that. Well, I like the idea. Like, I like where you're coming from. Like, I feel like you got the right idea, but it's a bit like, I don't know, it's not really said in the best possible way, but maybe you didn't say it exactly like that. But you could just be a bit more reassuring about that. Like, I just want you to know that I would never like judge you or I'm not the kind of guy who would ever slut shame you, like not in a million years. And everything we do would be like, completely like mutually pleasurable. Like you could just say stuff like that to reassure her that you're not going to judge her, you're not going to, talk about her behind her back, you're not going to like think of her in this degrading light, like, that could definitely ease her mind and help her. However, it's not the most appealing prospect if some guy's just like, if you sleep with me, I won't slut shame you." It's like, "Oh, thanks." But, I like the idea and I like the sentiment. So, are you alpha or beta? I would say alpha for sure because, in my opinion, alpha guys have a very sex positive attitude. So, very good. So then, Justin Nagy says, could you talk about shibari if you have a minute, maybe? I've never done it. I know like people in kink are like super into rope. Um, it's interesting. Like I kind of sometimes like wonder why they're just so into like rope. Seems more kind of like an artistic thing rather than like much of a sexual thing. Like to me, it just doesn't seem like seems more artistic than like super erotic. I guess I'm more into like psychological kink, but maybe like you could incorporate shibari into that. I think it's cool. I definitely think it's like pretty awesome. I guess I just don't understand the like intense fascination, but that's not to say I couldn't understand it in the future. What do you think about it? Justin, are you into it? So then, okay. So howdy, Kumatis and DeFreak. Hello. So Syed Kalam says you should read The Perfumed Garden. It is basically the Kama Sutra of the Arab world. Would be interesting to hear your thoughts on it. That's really fascinating, Syed, because I have never heard of this. So I'm going to copy that and Google that later. Um, that's really cool. So is it kind of like sex positions like the Kama Sutra? I've actually never read the Kama Sutra either. So there might be a lot more to it than just like what we think of as like 1,001 sex positions. So yeah, have you read it? And what do you think of it? So Watchdog says, hello, party people, and Victoria the Great. Thank you for that, Watchdog. So Ari Page says, an interviewer is to probe, not to push your own views. So it's a tightrope. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about you, it's about them. So, yeah. So then, yo, Ellis Jackson and James Lunsford, your video about the vortex was revolutionary. You're a cute AF too. Thank you, James. I really appreciate that. And okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't think like that vortex thing was like so like I thought it was a bit more common sense. So what did you think was revolutionary about that? Um, so then Zoltan Vaz says suggest a semester at Olongapo University for those with girlfriend issues. So what is that, Zoltan? That sounds interesting. So then Mario Gonzalez says, what are your thoughts on Zanperion? Okay, guys, I will be honest. I think I tried to watch like two videos with this guy. I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned by how annoying he was. Like he was just so like BSing the whole time. But then so many people are saying, "Oh, this guy is so great. He's a lover of women. He knows so much about women." But I'm like, "Are you kidding me? This guy?" But then they're saying, "Oh, read his book." So I haven't read his book. So his book might be better, but I didn't get a good impression. Let's say that. So what do you think of him, Mario? So Alex says, I've also read Mode 1, and that was very eye opening. But if I'm going to apply what was said in the book, why would I go along with being friend zoned by a girl I'm interested in romantically? Well, I agree. Like, I don't think well, I'm not gonna say what mode 1 says, okay? I'm gonna let you guys find out for yourself because I got into trouble with the author of that for misrepresenting mode 1 because, as I said before, you cannot do mode 1 with any mix of mode 2. It's impossible, according to him. So, it's mode 1 or nothing. Um, yeah. So who knows? All right. Edward Gonzalez says, I am 51 years old, 5'6". Looks like I'm in my late 30s. Black, silver hair and beard. Work out 4 times a week. Good looks, according to other women. Problem, short man. Okay, I see. Yes. Well, um, let's just say it's not going to be as easy for you if as if you were a tall man, but it doesn't have to come easy. So yeah, 5'6", I think you're fine. Yeah, some people it's going to be too short for them, but not too bad really. So the freak, what do you mean crisis of confidence? Um, just like total lack of confidence. Like, do you ever feel that way? Just like total like, I can't do this. I suck kind of feelings. All right, so Watchdog says, "Damn, that's pretty gangster. Time to be a male stripper. Haha, nah." Well, Watchdog, if you can be a male stripper, I would suggest you do be a male stripper because it would be an incredible way to learn about women and heal any insecurities you still have around women. So I encourage anyone out there um, who is able, who has the physique to be a male stripper. Oh, and check this out. When I was in Las Vegas, my boyfriend took me to see these male strippers. I'll be honest, they weren't the best, but I was still very entertained. Um, yeah, but I have seen male strippers who are absolutely incredible. Like, I was just in awe. Like, if I did some, like, what's it called? Like a retreat workshop kind of thing, I would take you guys to see these male strippers, which probably would, like, make the retreat fail, like, as soon as I said, "We're going to a male strip club," because these strippers really knew how to embody the raw, attractive, masculine essence. Like, they were just catering to the female gaze so hardcore. Not these guys, some other guys at Hustler, in Las Vegas, which also has a male strip club, but they were doing so good, and I feel like you guys could learn a lot if you would dare step foot in the place. So, yeah. So then, so Edward Gonzalez has been on a year and a half dry spell. I don't like that, Edward. I really do not. Please change that, if possible. So then Ted Barley says, if you could interview Ava Devine, she's an adult actress whose sex drive puts most teenage boys to shame. I've always wondered why that is, because Ted Barley, some women have higher sex drive than teenage boys. It's actually not unusual, okay? And women can have high sex drives too. Women can be on the hypersexual side of the spectrum, and it's very normal, but it is very stigmatized. So, unless you have, extreme confidence, like Ava Devine, an extreme level of maturity to actually embrace um, your sexuality, in my opinion, you will keep it under wraps. But trust me, it's normal. Um, so, all right. So. Nicholas says, how best to win a woman who's half interested? Well, if she's half interested, that's not all that bad. Like she's half interested, so it would depend on what you would need to like push her over the edge, but just doing the basics well, which I have talked about on my channel, will definitely help. Flirting will help. Setting up situations where it's kind of like romantic, like dark nightlife can help. Um, Sometimes like emotional connection stuff can help combined with flirting and the other masculine stuff. But yeah, all right. Well, I'd say that's fair advice. So DeFreak says, so short and poor ain't pulling at all. That's what you're saying? Oh, well, that's to someone else. Okay. So Ted Barley says, how hot are bulges to women? Um, I don't really know because, like, to me, it's not like at the top of the hierarchy on hotness. But I did read in that male stripper book that when he was hard and he was a male stripper, women like kind of went crazy for it. But that's kind of at a strip show, so I could see why women would like really like that in that environment. But just in general, if they're just looking at it and they're kind of not turned on, it won't do much. Maybe some will have like a fetish for it, but for the average woman, it's more something like they would might giggle at. Um, but if they're super turned on, well, then if they're super turned on, you would hope that he would be getting hard too. So I don't know if it would be like so hot because they might expect it, but yeah, I feel like guys kind of like overestimate how hot it is because like I've seen sometimes like on The Bachelor and stuff, like guys will be just trying to like show it off and they're just like, oh God, this guy, like he needs to stop. So okay. So thanks, Laptop Doc, for your encouragement on the interview. So Edward Gonzalez says, I do have a problem, not attracted to women my age. So why is that, Edward? And what age are you attracted to? Dare I ask? So Guillaume says, would you say that women like to get their egos destroyed? I mean, give me like a situation, but I mean, my first instinct is like, no. I mean, let's say sexually, some women like to be degraded, but that's very different than like wanting that, to be insulted like personally, because it's kind of like a game during sex. And yeah, give me like a situation that you're thinking of, because like let's just use common sense. Nobody likes just being like destroyed by a stranger and insulted. Um, it's possible some women who are kind of like suppressing a intense degradation kink might like it, but what situation are you thinking about? Is this some kind of like pickup thing, like neg women and they'll love it or something? What are you referring to? So Johannes Takata says, what does it mean when a girl is not ready to have sex? So there could be a whole host of reasons she's not ready to have sex. Um, is very vulnerable. She could not trust you enough. She could not trust that you're not gonna kind of like slut shame her. She could not trust you to feel safe enough to basically reveal her insecurities about her body and her emotions because some women they will become emotionally attached because they rarely have sex with guys, so when they do, again, they're putting all their eggs in this one guy's basket, and they're putting a lot of expectations and hopes and dreams on that one guy, and it can really unleash all the emotions that go along with, like, their dreams for, a relationship and a family, so there could be so many reasons why someone would not be ready to have sex. It doesn't mean she's not attracted to you. It doesn't mean she never will be. It could also mean though that she's not a very sexual person. Not always, but it could mean that. It could mean, there's just so many things. Let me ask you this, Johannes. What do you think it means? Like, what's your guess? And what are you thinking or imagining it means? So yeah, the freak says, "Who likes to have their ego destroyed?" Yeah, I agree to freak. Like, what is this? Hello, Brandon Long. Um, all right, I lost it again. Okay, so I don't like this comment. I've noticed that when you do have looks, but you're not tall, women under a 6 scale think they can get with you. Why are you turning down sex? You want experience. Um, and why are you being rude to women who are wondering, who are actually interested in you? Okay. So, okay. Julius Caesar says Neil in the book The Game took a chance to better himself by meeting up with Mystery, aka the pickup artist who took him under his wing and taught him the fundamentals about social dynamics and peacocking. Very cool, very cool. I'm interested to read that. Um, so Ralph Furley says, "Do you think women are looking for a father figure to replace their actual father, i.e., Freud and Carl Jung Electra complex?" So I think that a father gives women unconditional masculine love. In a sense, first of all, it's a very, very powerful feeling, okay? Someone who truly loves you, not just for the way you look, but for who you are. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how, like, a father loves, like, a child. Um, and so I think that's something women are really looking for because, so many men see them for their exterior, and so many women long to be loved for who they are underneath that. I talked about that in my video about like the three masks. And so I feel like kind of like that daddy dom or DDLG or that nurturing, sensitive, masculine love similar to what, a father often gives. Often they don't, okay? But, it's very, very powerful, like, on a very deep level, and, yes, some women never got that from their father, and they're looking for a nurturing, unconditional, um, love that makes them feel safe, and that is something they're looking for, so I really hate, though, when guys act like, "Oh, women are children, and they're just looking for, daddy and daddy issues and stuff." It's like, can't you guys understand, like, the appeal of a deep, unconditional love? I don't know. So, yeah. I think, there's something to it. Ellis Jackson says, "'Cause the height thing is not the big deal that the internet makes it out to be. I was just out at a park yesterday and I saw a lot of same height couples." Yeah, I agree. Like, my boyfriend is not that much taller than me. It's not there's a lot of same height couples, I totally agree. Do I deny that height is a huge advantage? No, I do not. But it is definitely not the end of the world. It's a slight, you know, it's an advantage you could have had that you don't have, but there's lots of other ways. So, Rohit Collins says, "Do you have vitamin D deficiency?" I actually don't. I was getting my vitamin D levels tested a lot, so I like supplement and stuff, but I don't anymore. I used to. So, the freaks and Rohit, do you? What's your vitamin D blood serum levels? So the freak says, "I'm 5'6" but I'm ugly as a catfish. Finances are good though. It's been about 1.5 to 2 years for me too." Hmm. Okay, the freak. I doubt you're as ugly as you say you are, but yeah. So Watchdog says, "What about just you though? Got a favorite song at the moment there, Victoria?" Um, I will have to think about that one because I'm thinking about a couple different ones. Um, sorry, I can't answer that. Just Watchdog. So then Julie Caesar says, "Neil also took it upon himself to learn NLP classes, topics on getting rid of phobias, voice tonalities, storytelling, a lot of things that would better a man's social skills as well as interactions." Very cool, very cool. Good evening. Wow, your username is very, very interesting. So you're so far behind. Oh gods. Okay. That's not good. Should I scroll down to like the bottom and read the new chats coming in, or should I just go from like the top down? What do you guys think? And what do you prefer in a live stream? So Watchdog said, "It's great though you're very thorough." Okay. Thanks. So Mike Fun says, "Kama Sutra is about positions and how to do those to benefit both partners. Different positions are good for the male and others the female. Some are for closeness or to enhance your connection." Nice. All right, so I'll scroll down a little here. All Wonder says, "Hey, what got you into giving such brutal, honest advice?" You guys, okay, so yesterday I was feeling like really angry. Well, actually, yeah, today too. Um, and so I wrote down the most brutal, honest advice. Like after just thinking about everything on my channel, I just channeled it and I'm like, this is what I would say to men. And it's like brutal. But then the problem is I became in a good mood after that. So then I didn't really have like the anger to like back up everything I'm saying because like the way I wrote it was like really harsh. So I felt like I couldn't really pull it off anymore because I became in a good mood. So when I'm in a bad mood again, I will do that video. It's my most brutal advice for men. So Snore Snorri Sprott says, "How can I keep up the attraction in a long-term relationship?" Well, I would make sure that doing you're tapping into her fantasies in the bedroom because that will keep the bedroom stuff spicy. I would make sure you are romancing her out of the bedroom by planning dates, almost like surprise dates. That would be the most ideal because that will keep her like really attracted. And I would also make sure that you are resolving fights and that you know how to validate her feelings and you understand what she really craves, which is acknowledging the grain of truth in her points doing thought empathy and feeling empathy and doing everything from the 5 secrets, which I talked about in another video. It's so good, guys. I told you guys this before, maybe a little bit, but it truly saved my relationship. You guys think it's, like, so bad to be, like, sensitive and vulnerable and, like, share emotions, and it's all, like, BS. It's not. I promise you it's not. It is incredibly attractive to be a good listener. Of course, you cannot do that to the exclusion of everything else. You have to also keep up the attraction in the bedroom and still be masculine and all that at time, not that you have to be only that, but that's a big part. And, yeah, yeah. Alright. So, Yer says, if a girl has shown interest in me at the gym, blushes when she sees me, tries to get in my space, sets up beside me when working out, you think it is fine to talk with her? Yer, you don't need all that to talk to her. Like, I understand it might be intimidating because girls always like, ew, why did this guy talk to me at the gym? I have my headphones in or whatever. Please don't let that get to you. Just be friendly and talk to her anyway. Just be like casual and friendly. Don't make it like awkward and just talk to her. If she acts all like grossed out and weird, fine. Just be like no problem. But I wouldn't like wait for, as I said, the flashing green light, like I said in my latest video. I would just do it. Okay. You have a right to say hello to strangers and to chat with strangers. No matter what anyone else says, like you have a right. So don't let them tell you you don't. I'm not saying you have a right to harass her and like pursue her. I'm just saying you have a right to like say hi and chat and even ask for a number. And if she says no, okay. So Mike Fun says, "Hey man, I just turned 40 the other day." So okay, this is someone else. So Ellis Jackson says, "Yes, I've talked to women at the gym having received fewer signs than that." Lol. Yes, I agree exactly. So HM says, "Your last video didn't make sense to me." So what part didn't make sense? Please let me know. Hmm. Okay, Azul says reach out to playing with fire. I'll have to look that guy up. What do you like about him? So okay. I kind of lost my place again. All right, guys, here's a question for you. What what do you feel is like the most feminine thing? Not necessarily feminine like the societal way, but like what do you feel is kind of like the most, I'm just gonna say feminine thing that a woman can do that really just like speaks to your core, and it might not be kind of like it might be hard to describe. What is it? I'll just put it out there. It's kind of a vague question, but all right. Okay. So, So Sudipta Bose says, "Hi, is there any hope for a 5'4" guy to find a good girl?" There is hope, Sudipta. Do not give up. Never give up. It might be more difficult. Probably will be more difficult. Um, but there is hope. Um, okay, I'm just alrighty. So Jackie Shaw says, "What are your views on Osho?" I don't really know about him. I thought he was kind of like the founder of Tantra or something, or one of the main guys. I'm not sure. What do you think of him, Jackie? So then Principia Libertatis says, "I have never heard a woman say that daddy dom appeal was because of unconditional love. I think men are not aware of this aspect." Hmm, that's interesting. So what do you think men think it is? And what aspect do you think men are focusing on? Because I think that's a huge appeal of daddy dom, and trust me, I know something about this topic. So, okay. Ellis Jackson says, "Victoria, have you ever thought of writing a book?" I have, but I kind of feel like I'm waiting till I kind of like really piece some more stuff together. But then like when I was reading this book, I'm thinking, hey, if this guy can do it, I have some stuff to say as well. So, yeah, and to be honest, like my main topic that I would really want to write the book about is just a deep dive into sexual fantasy because the book that everyone recommends about sexual fantasy, which is Nancy Friday's book, I tried reading it. I was horrified. I was stunned. I had to close it because I was hating it so much. And I feel like it was very misleading in a lot of ways. Okay, I didn't finish it, so don't quote me on this. I need to go back and finish it and push through my discomfort. But I would like to write a book on that topic myself, because I have a lot of experience in this area. And yeah, and I think it could be very helpful for men because I like to understand the deep psychology of, well, not deep, okay, but the psychology behind all of these different kinks and fetishes. That is my main special interest, as they say. So Nick Martinez says, "Hey, been checking out your videos. It seems that when I turn on my sexual energy towards women I'm attracted to, the woman becomes intimidated by it most of the time." Well, Nick, that is normal. That is normal. Okay. I'm not sure what you're doing to turn on your sexual energy, but I'd probably be intimidated by it. Like it's intense. That's kind of the reaction that you should expect. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It probably means they're slightly turned on. Depends what you're doing. You could just be, like, freaking them out, but hopefully it's you're doing it in a appropriate way, and they're just kinda, like, stunned by it, kind of, and they're feeling shy and embarrassed. So Taser Survivor says, "What if you so good a listener, she don't let you talk and talk over you when you do talk?" That's really annoying, Taser Survivor. I don't like that. Like, are you in a relationship with this girl? Because like, I don't really know what to do with people like that. I have no idea because I don't like that. Um, Zachary Mo says, "Opinions on the red pill." I'll get back to you when I finish the book that supposedly like sparked the whole red pill thing. Rollo Tomasi's book. I am in the middle of reading it because I need to get a grasp on what is the red pill like truly. So far, it's kind of annoying, but it's not bad. Like I think he has some interesting points. So let me finish it and I will get back to you. But please tell me your opinions on the red pill. Brian Sharp, you are on a roll tonight, making me loll with your humor. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I think I'm getting a bit more comfortable, but that could be also be a bad thing 'cause that means I'm kinda, like, feeling too comfortable just, like, monologuing for hours, which is probably not good. Um, so so Zachary Moses, I was somehow programmed at a young age to feel guilty and ashamed of my sexual desires. That really happens to, like, everyone. Some people get it, like, overtly. Like, religion is basically telling them, like, "You are a horrible person if you have sexual desires," it seems. Um, I don't know, maybe not all your religions, but that's kind of like a common thing. Correct me if I'm wrong because I didn't grow up very religious, but I've been told this, that it's, like, very, very overt and intense. But even though I did not grow up like that, I still felt guilty and ashamed. Well, I don't know if I felt guilty, but I definitely felt ashamed. So, Zachary Moses, what do you think it was? Like, if you had to say, what do you think made you feel guilty and ashamed of it? Like, was something your parents said? Was it something you read? I don't really know exactly what it was for me either, but I can tell you I was very, 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 very ashamed. I think just, like, sensitive people, like, pick it up. I mean, we live in, like, the most sex negative environment, so, I mean, it's not hard to just, like, sense things and kinda, like, piece things together subconsciously about, like, what is appropriate and what isn't and what you should feel guilty for, what you should feel ashamed for, so, like, it's really normal, and I really hate it. But yeah, Zachary, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. So DeFreak says, even if you find a good girl, there is no guarantee she won't go bad, which has always been the case, but especially nowadays. Yeah, you're right. They could go bad at any time. And maybe some of you would find that a good thing. DeFreak says, being, I believe he meant quiet is feminine. Oh no, that's horrifying to me, but all right. Thank you for sharing, DeFreak. So then Ellis Jackson said, being very cooperative and receptive. Oh God, I'm shuddering. But I appreciate the honesty. So, you know how women, then Mike says, you know how women have a view in their mind of you before ever meeting you, like thinking you are a badass or whatever. How do you play it to your advantage? Hmm. That is a really good question. I don't know. Sounds like a question for like Robert Greene or something like that. Great question though, Mike. So Guillaume says, wanting to please, being quiet, simply caring about how she speaks to me. That is nice. That's really nice. I like that. So Austin says, coquettish being a brat like the Lion King Nala eyes. Yeah. I mentioned that yesterday in my life too. It was funny. Somebody told me about this Nala eyes thing. Um, coquettish being a brat. Would you say you are a brat tamer, Austin? Um, so then Mike says, I saw a TikTok where this girl basically stalked a guy, then he was into her, and she went out with him. And he was a good dude, was into her. Then she switched it up and was like, Matt, I'm not sure what nad means. Oh, probably nah. He wasn't that hot? Okay. Sounds pretty normal. Like at first she was interested, then she lost interest. So then Zachary Moses caring for me in some way, cooking or cleaning or doting on me while I'm sick. Oh, that is nice. So then Ian said, is it weird if a man wants to be dominated by another man? Personally, Ian, I don't think it's weird at all because I get why it's hot. And if I was a man, I think I would still want it. So I really get it. And I don't think it's weird at all. I think it's cool. I think you should go for it. I think you should live out your fantasies, all of you. Well, within reason, and sanity. So, Edward Gonzalez says, shows lots of kindness and respect. I mean, more kindness and respect to her man than anyone else in her world. That's the most feminine thing she can do for a man. I like that. That's nice. Oh no, my screen is frozen. Like, is it still frozen? Let me check. Um, do you guys, is my screen still frozen? I really hope not. Just let me know in the comments. Okay, not frozen. All right, thanks, Zachary. All right. Oh no, it says there is no audio. This is terrible. But that was probably a long time ago, so. So, so, so. So then Edward says that and walking around the house with a small T and no bottom. Wow. Okay. Taser Survivor says, seems weird, but for me, women walking barefoot is most feminine. That's really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a really cool image. It's like barefoot in the kitchen or whatever they say. Um, so, oh, thank you, Parliament, for telling me when I was back. So Jackie Shaw says, I would love if you read this book named From Sex to Super Consciousness. Okay, wow, what a claim. He says all the things you love, things you say, and in much more depth, you will love him. All right, I am making a note of that. Oh no. Okay. I have to plug this in. So Zachary Moses is, I think, to me, the DDLG stuff attracts because it emphasizes youth and submissiveness. I see. So, Austin says, oh cool, can you give a review of 3% Man? I follow his work too, and he helped me get a GF for the first time. First sexual experience and kiss. Oh wow. That's actually a pretty cool recommendation. So yeah, I'll carry on because it is entertaining. I am hate reading it. So Kevin Hayden says, peace and prosperity to the chat. Thank you, Kevin. So, hello, Bill Jones. Hey, that book 3% Jolly Leprechauns. Hey, that book 3% Man by Gordon Wayne. Read that a year ago. Any disagreements you have from reading it? I have many disagreements. But now that you guys are all like interested, maybe I will like take more notes on my disagreements. So Mike says, I think 3% is pretty decent. I mean, he says, be high value and don't take BS. So then the Principles of Liberty says, I think the way men see the daddy dom scene is that women desire a protector. The way men think the act of protecting implies love, but it seems like you're implying a more emotional connection. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So, Principles of Liberty says, how does a man show he loves a woman unconditionally? Okay. That's a good question. That is a good question. What a question. How am I supposed to answer that? Well, I think you can support her in everything she does. You cannot try to, you can want what's best for her. You cannot, you shouldn't like restrict her freedoms really. Like if she wants to do something, you should support her in doing it. I think you can care about her emotionally and care about how she's feeling. Um, And there's probably more to it than that. Not a very good answer, but what do you think? What do you think you could do? How do you, like, know when you love someone unconditionally? Um, how do you, like, define that? Alright. So Edson says, most feminine thing, there are so many. For me, it would be when a woman wraps her arm around mine while we're walking. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. And I've heard other guys say that before. Like they've kind of seen girls doing that with other guys, like when they were younger, even. And then they just kind of always wished, like, one day that would be me. I think that's really cool. That's like a really interesting thing that seems to resonate with a lot of guys. So, Zachary Moses, thanks for responding to my question from above. I think a lot of it was maybe fear of rejection and self-loathing. Depression runs in my family, and I always saw myself as fat. Now I'm finding old pics. I didn't get fat until after these feelings began. Zachary, I really get that. Um, I always saw myself like as a fat kid myself. And when I look at old pics, I realize I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? I don't think I was even like fat. But if you're anything like me, like, we grew up in an extreme fat shaming era. I think things are changing for the better now. I mean, obviously, like, fat phobia still exists and all that, but, yeah, I think being fat really affected me as a kid as well. I think it kind of was like the initial trigger for my social anxiety, which I had very badly as a kid. I think it contributed to my depression I used to have. So, I get it. I really get it. So, and I'm curious, Zachary Moses, how are you doing today? Like, has it changed at all, or you still depressed and all that? So, Bill Jones says, Victoria, you want to study phone sex operators? There must be some pretty funny stories. I actually thought about being a phone sex operator. Um, yeah, like I would kind of like to hear some of their stories. So, Vikas says, "Hey Victoria, do you play the piano?" I'm trying to. I do. I'm taking lessons again. So, yeah, do you play the piano? So, Matt G says, "Oh, hi Victoria. I didn't know you stream." I have been streaming lately. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty modern, is it not? So, all right. Baruch says, "It is ironic because the Bible has one of the first graphic sexual romance books, Songs of Solomon." Ha ha. Oh wow, that is ironic. That is quite ironic, yeah. Does have some pretty wild and depraved sex in there. Um, yeah, Bill Jones says choppy last night. I know. Like that was absolutely horrible. Like when I watched it back, I'm like, what was happening? I cannot hear anything. So sorry about that. I just posted it anyway because I'm like, what the hell? Um, Edward says, lol, my leather gets cold then warm, then back to cold towards me. Lol. Oh, sorry, Edward, sorry for that. Um, so then Ian's okay. So, so the freak says, "Hey Ed, if you ignore her long enough, she'll probably propose to you." Very funny, the freak. Oh God. Edward Gonzalez says, "So far she's hate 4 comments and loved 1. My typical average with women in real life." Ha. What the? How can I even love your comments like in this chat? Like, there's no love react, so I'm confused. Or is this like on your channel? On my channel, I mean. So, Bill Jones says secure, avoidant, aka dismissive. anxious, ambivalent, disorganized. Okay, I don't know if you're asking me, Bill Jones, like which attachment style I have. So I avoided this whole attachment style for like a really long time. Then my friend told me, I'm just like, it's probably like dumb. Then my friend told me, trust me, it's really good. Look into it. So I did, and I would say I'm not really sure if that's like anxious, ambivalent, or like, but I'd say I had a mix of anxious and secure, but maybe everyone, like, thinks they're, like, partly secure, I don't know. But I definitely got a lot of anxious. So, yeah, what are you? So, Mike says, "I love the arm in the car when she grabs and rubs your arm, or even better, rubs your shoulder while on top of you. Only one girl has done that, it was amazing." So, is she on top of you, or is she in the car? So, like, I love the arm in the car when she grabs and rub your arm. So, like, you're in the car and she grabs and rubs your arm, or she rubs your shoulder while on top of you. Oh, so kinda like a shoulder massage kinda thing? That's very interesting. I like that. Thanks for the tip. So then, Prasant says, "After the first date, by the end of it, her body language was kinda crossed." Okay, that's not a question. So then Zachary says, "I grew up in a very fat house where we ate too much damn food, lol, which aggravated the genetically inborn depression and anxiety." Okay, yes, I get it. So, so then Zachary says, "I'm depressed at times, um, less hesitant to times today, less hesitant to express my sexuality, though sometimes not as direct as I might like. Lost 15 pounds, gained 5 back, just got back on diet and exercise." Thank you for the update, Zachary. And I hope you continue to flourish. Or, yeah, I'm wishing you the best and all that. So, Ellis Jackson says, "I used to date a girl who would rub the back of my head while I was driving." Okay. So. I keep saying so. Okay. Oh, Brett Sheepers. Hi from South Africa. Hello. So, he will. All right, guys. I have reached the bottom of the chat. Okay. Very good, everyone. So, if anyone has any more questions, I'll answer it. Otherwise, I will say goodnight. This was a really fun chat. Thank you guys for making me laugh. Thank you guys for sharing these tips with me. And thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for not being mean to me. And you can email me at mynonleatherlife@gmail.com if you want to talk one-on-one coaching session about your specific situation or some tough love or um, some support. Let me know. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks, guys, and good night.